everyone, this is Trisha and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this delicious, cheesy almond flour and coconut flour flatbread. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now in this bowl I have 2 ounces of cream cheese and I have a cup of mozzarella cheese. I'm going to put this in my microwave for about a minute. This can go in for anywhere from 30 seconds, a minute to a minute and a half, depending on the strength of your microwave. Also, many times I do half of this portion, so I put it in there for about 30 seconds. Sometimes I add 10 seconds at a time until I get it to the smooth consistency where I can mix it all up. So for now, this is going to go in there for 1 minute. Okay, so this is what it looks like after actually a minute and a half. So I did 1 minute and I decided I needed another 30 seconds. I'm going to give you one tip. When you put the cream cheese in your bowl and you add the mozzarella, place the mozzarella over the cream cheese. That way that will not pop all over your microwave or just cover your bowl. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And as you can see, this is really soft when I put my fork into it. Now from here, I want to move really quickly because this will start to get a little hard because it'll start cooling off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to season it with some salt. And I'm also going to season it with my favorite herb seasoning, which is a garlic and herbs. You can season this with like chili powder or paprika or a cayenne or whatever other herbs you want to put some rosemary in there. Go right ahead. Make it for your taste buds. So I'm just going to add the seasoning that I like in there. And this is about a teaspoon of this garlic and herb. Aside from the the salt. I'm also going to add a half a teaspoon of baking powder. And I kind of want to make sure that I get it everywhere. And then I can just mix this up a little bit. And if I feel like this is hardening up on me, I just go ahead and put it in the microwave, like I said, 10 seconds and so forth. Okay, so this is good enough. Okay, so now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons and a half of almond flour. And I'm going to add 1 tablespoon and about a half to 3/4 of coconut flour. Now this you can add a little bit extra depending on how this all feels for you. So I'm just going to mix it up a little bit. And this isn't going to mix like really well, by the way, just so you know. This is not going to mix super well. So you want to mix in that baking powder in there first, then your herbs and your seasonings before you put all this in there. Okay, so now I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper and I'm going to dump all this onto my parchment paper. So I'm going to scrape my bowl and get all that in there. Okay, so now that I have it all dumped in there, I just take the sides and any loose almond flour, I just press it into the dough. So basically I am kneading my dough. And you can see here where, you can see the colors kind of like a marbling. So it's not going to mix really well. Just do your best. And it's warm, by the way. Could be hot as well, so just be careful. Okay, so when you get it to the consistency you like, you can use your hands if you want. I'm going to take half of this, half of the parchment paper, and I'm going to place it right on there, and then fold the other half over it like this. Okay, so now that I have it like that, I'm just going to press it down a little bit, and then I can use a rolling pin, and I happen to have this little one. This is a little pastry rolling pin, and I'm going to spread this out as much as I can on here. And you want to roll it out fairly thin. Now normally when I use half of the dough, of the ingredients, if I use half of the ingredients, I end up stretching it all up about this size. Okay, this is probably maybe about 5 by 9 or so. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my baking sheet. Okay, here I have a baking sheet, and it's got some parchment paper, and I'm actually going to spray that with a coconut oil spray. You can use an avocado spray if you prefer. Okay, so now that I have that, I am going to take my rolled out piece and lay it right in there, and then take this parchment paper that I had that on there, put it on top, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it out because I want it fairly thin, like I said. And just roll it out to about the size of my pan here. It's just a regular size cookie sheet, by the way. Okay, so I've almost got it the size of my pan. The shape does not matter, so don't worry about what it comes out looking like. You just want it to be evenly spread out. Let me go ahead and peel this off so you can see how thin it is. That's how thin I want it to be. There's be some spots like right here where it's not as thick or it's a little too thin. I just roll that up and just press that like that. Okay, so my oven is ready. It is 350 degrees, and I'm just making sure that I don't have like some thicker spots so that I can, you know, push out and spread out. Okay, this is going to go in the oven for 7 minutes, and I'm going to check it. And if I want it any more baked or browned, I will leave it in there a little bit longer. But first we're going to start off with 7 minutes. Okay, so I have taken my flatbread out of the oven after 7 minutes, and this is what it looks like. It does puff up a little bit now, but I've had it out here for, you know, about 30 seconds or so, so it has deflated. Now you can see that it's got a little bit of golden brown around it, and it does look a little bit like it's raw, but it's because there's the cheese in there, so just keep in mind. Now, I like mine to get toasty all the way around. Also in the center like it does on the edges here. So I'm going to put it in there for another 3 minutes. But this is what it's looking like right now. This is 7 minutes. Okay, so here's what the flatbread will look like after another 3 minutes, which is 10 minutes in total in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is ready to be served. I like to cut it in half and then in half again, so I have like 4 pieces, and then you can use this however you like. If you want to use this whole piece, make a pizza on there. Or if you want to cut it up, maybe 2 pieces to make a sandwich. Or even cut them up into smaller pieces, like little strips or even little squares. And you could bake them a little bit longer to give them a little bit more of a crunchiness like it has here on the very edges here. And then you could create like a cracker. Okay, let me show you how I'm going to serve mine up. Okay, so I've turned my flatbread onto this cutting board. But I would let this cool off completely before I peel it off the parchment paper. So what you want to do is just flip it over with the parchment paper on there and then just carefully slide it off, because keep in mind this is pretty much cheese, so a lot of it may stick to the parchment paper. So just peel it off slowly. This is what it looks like on the other side, so you can see how I had some little spots here where I had to kind of push down as I was peeling off the parchment paper. But there we go. And now I'm just going to cut it into some pieces here. Just like that. I could actually serve this up like a tortilla, you know, add some stuffing in there and then make it like a taco like that. You can add some ground beef, ground turkey, or chicken and create that. Or I could just have it, you know, as I can just cut it up into little pieces. I could also actually put some butter on it if I wanted to, or some spread on there, maybe peanut butter, your favorite jam or jelly on it, and enjoy it as dessert. Now, if you also wanted to, maybe while you're mixing this up, add a little bit of sugar into the dough, make it a sweet flatbread. Okay, so this is how I decided to serve up my flatbread. I've cut a little rectangle here like a piece of toast so I can serve it up with my breakfast here. I've also taken another piece of this and I've added some almond butter to that, so a little sweetness next to my savory meal here. Again, serve it up however you want. I've still got 3 pieces here. These can be put in a Ziploc bag and I can refrigerate them, and I personally choose to just refrigerate them up to 5 days, or you could put them in a freezer bag and freeze them up, and then you could just defrost them and warm them up. You could put them in the microwave for a little bit to warm them up, but I would let them come to room temperature before doing so. You could also put them in a pan and kind of toast them up if you want to add a little bit of oil and kind of fry them up a little bit. Or like I said, you could cut these up into smaller little pieces, put them in the oven once again, and make like a little crispy cracker. This is absolutely delicious. I would flavor it, like I said, with a seasoning, because if you just make it plain, it's not going to have much of a flavor to it. But I added that garlic and herb, and it made a world of difference to this flatbread recipe. All right, everyone, I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. Please hit that red subscription button if you haven't already done so, and thank you to everyone who has been subscribing. But also hit that little bell once you subscribe, so that'll notify you of when I put up my videos, which is twice a week. I hope everyone is going to be keeping safe. Please be kind and respect each other. Make sure you share this video on your social media, and always enjoy.